welcome back. So today we are going to be doing a quick get ready with me everyday makeup look. I get asked a lot of questions about makeup that I use, makeup tips, and so today it's just going to be you and I, and we are going to do a really quick, just everyday makeup. And I'll be showing you some of my favorite products. Some are going to be drugstore, some are not, all of which you can get online, whether the drugstore products you can get at Ulta.com, Target, CVS, Walgreens, any of the drugstores, Walmart, and then the higher end products you can also get at Ulta or Sephora, or a lot of times the company website. So anyway, first and foremost, I am going to start with a beauty sponge. This one right here is actually from Walmart. This is from Eco Tools. And yeah, the thing I like about this one is if you are going to be doing any eye work, it helps you get right up close to your eye, or if you're baking or setting using this, it works really well too. So today I am going to be using a drugstore foundation, and this is the Maybelline Super 24 Hours Super Stay, and I have the colors 130 and 220 because I don't know, sometimes I'm tan, sometimes I'm not as tan, sometimes, and you can see there's like two different colors, and I just squirt this right on my hand just like this. And I'm kind of a full coverage girl. If I'm gonna wear foundation, I want it to cover all the things. I don't always want it to look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup, but I definitely want it to smooth out my skin. If I'm doing a natural look, it doesn't mean I typically don't have makeup on. It just means it doesn't look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. And you know, if you need more, go back in. But when you're using your beauty blender, I used to be one to like drag it all over my face, and you're really just wanting to stamp in. And especially when I'm doing my forehead, like I'll stamp the mid of my forehead, and then I will go up in to the hairline. So I don't really take fresh product into the hairline. I kind of just spread it. So most of my product is getting put on my T-zone, and then it's getting spread across my face. When I had blonde hair, this was always a little more tricky because if you're not careful, you can stain your blonde hair and make it look like foundation. So a couple tricky spots you want to make sure you get, and a lot of people miss this, right here on the inside of right here where the inside of your corner of your nose is, you really want to make sure you get that. And then right up here in the corner of your eyes, make sure you're getting all in there. I'm not going to do my eyelids so much because I'm going to come back with an eye primer. And then always make sure you get your neck and then your ears too. Because if you don't do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up, I have some really good light today, so you can see my bags under my eyes and all of that. Isn't aging awesome? Like I was looking at some old pictures and I would smile and there wouldn't be these like bags. Now when I smile, I have these like bag things. It's awesome. Aging is awesome. You know, and it is what it is. So this is my Shape Tape concealer, and I'm just gonna go up underneath my eyes here. There's lots of different concealers I've tried. This is my favorite one. If you're looking for a drugstore concealer, the e.l.f. 24-hour camouflage or whatever is a really good drugstore. I don't think it's better than Shape Tape, but it is a really good drugstore one. And so I do under my eyes, and it's kind of like a triangle shape. And then I do down the center of my face. And I am in the color Light Medium Honey in Tarte Shape Tape. So you always want your concealer, which you're using to highlight, you always want that to be a little bit lighter than your foundation, than your regular foundation. So, and I'm doing the center of my face first. And again, you're just bouncing. So you're just like bouncing this in to your face. You know, I was trying to remember the other day what we did before beauty sponges. Like, what did we do? I was like, did I use a brush? I think I used my finger. Like, I've been using one of these so long. By the way, and I don't want to assume because I've turned so many girlfriends onto these and they buy them. And even the first time I recommended my mom get one and she got one of these sponges, you have to wet it. So when you wet it, it grows. If you don't wet it, all it does is absorb product and that's it. So, all right, once you get that nice and blended in, you want to set it. And my favorite powder that I use is this Rimmel Stay Matte. This is from the drugstore. I get it at Walmart. It's like $3. It's like super cheap and sorry, I'm totally shaking you. I don't mean to. All right. And this is my most favorite powder brush. This is by e.l.f. and it's the powder brush. So it's by e.l.f. Cosmetics and it's the powder brush. And I don't know, for a cheap brush, I actually like this more than my MAC powder brush. And this was like $5. My MAC powder brush was like $40. So, and I've had this powder brush for years and I just clean it and it doesn't shed on my face. It's just, I grab for it, I travel with it. And again, you want to make sure you're getting in the side of your nose there, setting under your eyes, forehead, ears, neck, any place that you put said foundation and concealer. All right, I should have moved my brushes. All right, the next thing, and I'll try to tell you guys the brushes as I'm using it. Most of my brushes are gonna come from Morphe or MAC. Those are where most of my brushes. This is a Morphe M0, and this is what I use to contour my nose. And so I'm just going to go into my little contour here. And I'm going to start here about where my eyes are, and I'm just going to come right down the side of my nose. It was a couple years ago, actually. And I had started contouring the side of my face, but I was really intimidated by contouring my nose. I had tried a couple times, and honestly, I didn't have the right brush and all of that. And I miserably failed at it. And so I just didn't do it. And then you're going to come right here and make like a V under your nose. Then you're just going to take what's left, bring it down the sides, and then connect that line to your eyebrow. In this part, you don't got to be as precise on because you're just blending basically. But I remember one of my girlfriends was visiting and she's like, can I just contour your nose? And I was like, sure. And the rest is history. So I've been a nose contour ever since. And you can always, you know, depending on how tight you want that nose contour, you can always go in and add some more. Or if you accidentally make it too dark, you can go in and just blend it out. And if I accidentally make it too dark, I will go in with more of a fluffy brush and blend that back out. So yeah. Where is my fluffy brush? There it is. All right. And then I will just go in with my powder right here and just add some of the lighter powder to the top of the nose and up into the forehead, just right down kind of like this area right here. And then under my eyes, just like that. And this is just the lighter powder. Again, there we go. All right, cool. Coolio. All right, next step, priming my eyes. And this is gonna be MAC's Paint Pot in Painterly. And this is my most favoriteest eye primer. And you can do your fingers, or I just have this MAC brush. And this has been used so much. They're 252. It's a MAC 252 brush. And this, you're just going to put the eye primer, and you can use concealer. I just personally, I've done both, and the eye primer works better as far as like my makeup blending and stain. Like, no joke, I can do my makeup now and sleep in it, work out in it, and my eye makeup will not budge. Before eye primer, it would crease in my eyes, and even when I started using concealer, it just wouldn't stay as long as it does with this. And so you're going to spread it from the base of your lash line all the way up to your eyebrow. And then you can spread that out with your finger right there. Look, here's the thing about makeup. You know, makeup, we can all use the same products and have a completely different look. And even if I was going for just like a really quick day, I could just, and here's the thing, this completely takes all the veins, all the redness out of your eyelids. You could do this and just slap on some mascara and be done, because it makes your eyelid like the same color as your skin. So yeah. All right, now let's do some face. All right, so the brush I use to contour like my cheeks is a Morphe R36 brush. So it's a fluffy tapered brush, and just gonna go in here and I like to do that. I learned to do the fish flips, and then you can see the natural, your cheekbone sticks out. And you're gonna go up from your hairline and kind of fade down. And then right here in your jawline right here, especially when I was overweight, this contouring, like I still like contouring, but when I had a more fluffy face, a more full face, especially this right here, when you contour down here, you're creating that jawline, and it just, all right, now bronzer. This is Hoola bronzer, and another really good drugstore foundation is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. That's a really amazing bronzer from the drugstore. And now this is, you can see, this is one of my favorite bronzers with there's lots of bronzers, but this Hoola by Benefit bronzer is a really good one. And I don't know, there's something to just going up here along the top of my forehead with that bronzer. And normally when I'm doing my makeup, this is also like my personal development time. So this is when I'll have a book playing or a podcast playing or whatever. And so this is like my personal development makeup time. Or I'll be catching up with a girlfriend, and yeah. So, especially right now when I don't have as much sun as I might want to have, bronzer, love me some bronzer. And you can contour with this. That comes with this little tiny brush, and you can dip that in. And this you can contour just like that. If you wanted to use this as a contour, I use it as a bronzer. This blush, so this is from the drugstore. This is by the company Milani, and this is like a peach blush. It's called Luminoso. I've had this brush for many years. By the way, my bronzer brush is by Morphe. It's a Y1. Again, it's a fluffy tapered brush. And then my blush brush is by Morphe. It's an E3. Okay, tapered brush. The thing about Morphe brushes, they're much more affordable. And by the way, with your blush, I start on the apple of my cheek, I swirl and then swirl up. So I'm gonna start on the apple of my cheek and then swirl up. And this one kind of just gives you like that glow from within, like a little bit of, it's not like super like whoosh. You're not gonna put it on. It's not super pigmented, so you can build it up. And I like that with a blush. I don't like a blush where I put it on and all of a sudden I have a peach or a pink streak. I like a blush that's a little bit buildable. That's not too strong, personally. Yeah, and again, this is my blush brush. So here's the thing with Morphe brushes. I came in to Morphe brushes using MAC brushes. And so these are pretty high-end brushes, pretty expensive. And a couple of the people that I had followed on YouTube were talking about Morphe brushes. And these were people that were like really good makeup artists. And so they weren't just like, here's a cheap set of brushes. Like they were used to using Marc Jacobs, MAC, you know, all the higher end Tarte brushes. And so I started ordering some of these to test them out. and they don't shed. They're super soft. They have a wide variety, and they're really affordable. They're 5 times less than my MAC brushes and just as good of quality for the ones that I use. And so like, if you have good brushes, you can put any makeup on if you have good brushes, period, end of story. So, all right. Now for an everyday look, I'm going to use some matte shades. And if you don't know, one of the things is when you're doing your outside corner and even here in the brow bone, you want to try to do matte shades. It's going to be more flattering to your eye if you're doing a matte shade. So this is just a Morphe R38 brush. It's a fluffy brush. And I'm just picking up some medium browns, and I'm starting on the outside of my eye. And just light circly motions. Light circly motions. And it's better to, and here's the thing, like if I'm going for a darker, if I'm going to darker, I would go in with the darker and stamp it on, but I'm not really going super dark today. This is just an everyday, simple, have makeup on, but nothing too glam, not a date night look, just, and I typically will do one eye, and then I'll go do the exact same thing to the other eye. I don't typically finish one eye and then finish the other eye. I do the outside and then I do the outside, because then I can look and say, is it symmetrical? Is it darker? Is it lighter? All right. So this is my most common eye look. I'll do a darker outside, and then I will either do a matte light on my lid or I'll do a shimmer on my lid. I'm going to come in with like a smudger brush. And this is what I use for my eyeliner most of the time. I'm going to take that same chocolatey brown and just start smudging that right under my eye. I never used to know that you could use any eyeshadow as a eyeliner. I used to always just buy eyeliner like this. And I remember when I found out I could use eyeshadow for eyeliner, I was like, what? What? How did I not know this? You might have known this. I just, prior to 6 years ago, 5 years ago, had no clue. So if I saw somebody, the whole trick is having the right brush. And you can use a pencil brush, but a little tight smudger brush like this is my favorite. And this is, this is a Sephora brush. Sephora Professional Smudge 14. So it's actually called a smudger brush. And once I have that smudged in, I'll go in with a Morphe E36. This is just like a really good pencil brush. And even like a lighter brown, and you can smoke that out a little bit. When I first started doing makeup, I would always do like a really tight line all the way under. But right now, the tight eye isn't really what's on trend. It's more smoked out a little bit. And so if I'm doing an everyday look, I won't keep it dark all the way down. I'll go in with like a lighter color right here. And I will start diffusing that just a little bit. All right, so now that I have that done, I'm going to go in with Dazzle Shadow and in the color Last Dance and Fast Slow. And these are their Dazzle Shadows. And I have the MAC 227 brush. And this is like my favoriteest brush to stamp on shadows on my lid. So you basically load up the brush and then you just come in and stamp it. And if you can see, it's like curved in the correct shape. So you're just gonna stamp on the shadow, okay? And this is like the most simplest eye makeup, a little bit darker on the outside, and then come in and stamp on literally whatever color you want. It is so simple. It looks good. It was the very first, when I started learning how to do my makeup, it was the very first eye look that I learned. And you can dramatize it. Like if you were doing an everyday look and then you were going out at night and you wanted to, you could come in and deepen up your outer corner. yeah, you can really, you know, make this more nighttime. So now I'm going to go in, and when you're doing this, you're literally just bringing it in, getting some color, deposit it on the brush, coming in and stamping that right on there. So quick, so simple. And then I have this brush right here. This is a MAC, my MAC brushes. I've had them for so long. You can hardly see what number it is. I don't know. It's this brush right here. And this is what I use for my inner corner highlight. So I'm going to come into this shimmery shade right here, and I'm just going to highlight my inner corner just like that. This completely opens up your eye. It is such a game changer. At least it was for me. All right. And then I have another fluffy brush here. I'm like, I have a fluffy brush here. And I'm going to take this other shimmery shade and just come up and just highlight under my brow bone just a little bit. All right, we're almost done. Eyebrows. Let's talk eyebrows. This is a Maybelline Wonder Brow Ultra Slim, whatever. This is a brow pencil. All right, it's got a spoolie at one end and this little tiny thing. So brows can be very involved, and I can spend a long time doing my brows, but on an everyday basis, this is the easiest thing to do. You just come in, it's got this super fine thing, so you can just create little tiny hairs, darken them up. I have very thin eyebrows. I don't pluck them at all because I just don't need to. And so I will tell you, if you're not doing any filling in of your eyebrows, it completely frames your eyes. And when you look at pictures of yourself, I used to think, I don't need to do my eyebrows. And then I would see pictures of myself with them not done. And look, I am not a professional makeup artist. So if you're watching this and you're like, Carmen, that's not proper technique. Oh well. I just like makeup. And I've learned what I've learned through going and to makeup counters and having different brands do my makeup and watching YouTube videos and just picking up techniques. So there we go. Takes you a couple seconds to do them. You can comb them out. And last but not least, we're going to do some mascara. I'm waiting on my favorite mascara. Actually, no, here it is. I'm like, I thought it was downstairs, but it's right here. So my most favorite mascara is by MAC, and this is the In Extreme Lash. And this baby right here, best mascara I've ever used. And just gonna put that on. Okay, I'm gonna quickly line our lips. This is MAC's Hip and Happy. It's just a pinky nude. If you don't have time, you could certainly skip this step. And then one of my most favorite everyday lipsticks is by Milani from the drugstore. This is in the color Matte Blissful. It wears really well. It's matte. And then last but not least, oh, dang it, I should have done this beforehand. So I normally do this before. Highlighting your upper lip. Normally I'll do that just before I put lipstick on. So this is the Urban Decay Afterglow. I'm just gonna go in, put a little bit of highlight on my nose, a little bit right here on my cheekbone. If you want to be super glowy and hoey, which I like to do sometimes, I do like a little bit here on the bridge. You can do some here. You can go up here into your, but that would be more date nighty. And I'm gonna take some Fix Plus. This is not necessary. This is certainly extra, but this is just gonna be some setting spray. And the thing I love about that is it helps take, if you have put too much powder on, or if you look a little cakey, it's going to kind of make everything melt together, and it's going to take that powdery look off of your face. And I just use a palette to dry. And there we go. There is your everyday, simple makeup look. If I was not doing this in the camera, this would have taken me about 15 minutes. If I was just 15, 20 minutes from starting to finishing, probably 20, 15 if I was hurrying from start to finish. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if you like seeing makeup videos, if there's a date night look you want to see, or a glam look, or a photo, like whatever, or maybe you have a product and you're like, Carmen, I have some colors that I don't know how to use. Maybe you have some blues or some purples that you're dying to wear and you're like, I don't know how to do them. Yeah, let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.